guys, what is happening? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we'll roll into it. I was actually going to take today off, and because of what's happening here, I'm not going to. Obviously I'm here, right? But I do want to make this, I don't want to make this very long for everybody. I want to get everybody the information. And the reason I'm out here talking about this is because this has become a, well, I don't want to say it's a fight in the community. It's more of a big disagreement, I guess. And this is a significant disagreement because depending on who's correct is going to have a direct effect on this geomagnetic storm we're all talking about. Okay. You guys heard my opinion on it yesterday, and we're actually going to go look at that, what I said yesterday. Okay. And the reason why is because you're pretty much going to hear my opinion from yesterday. And I actually showed you why I held that position. Okay. But the difference here is that, shoot, hold on a minute. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so you're going to hear me say it again, basically. But I'm going to let you guys hear what I said during my stream yesterday. And I actually go down the reasons why I think it's going to happen this way. And and I still kind of hold the same position. Because I said this yesterday, and I actually was considering everything that I thought I needed to consider when we're talking about whether or not this CME, this halo, pretty large eruption halo, is either coming at us or actually going off the backside. Because there's a large amount of people think that it could be going off the backside, and there's people that think it could be coming this direction. And I'm here to just give you my opinion, show you the data, and let you make up your own mind. I'm not going to sit here, and I'm not here to argue with anybody, because I won't do that. I think you guys know this. That's just something I don't do. But I would like everybody to share this with everybody, if you could, because I think I can at least add my 2 cents, and it might, I don't know, help somebody else understand, at least decide that I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to be showing you both sides, and that's what's important. So if you could, please just take the time and share this, even with the other space weather channels. I just want people to see it. That's all. I want everybody to understand that there is stuff on both sides that can make us think one direction or the other. And again, I'm going to show you what I think. But so what exactly am I talking about? Well, this X flare right here, which was really an X flare and an M flare, basically two separate bursts of X-ray, but they came from the same spot. So it made it pretty much a long duration flare. I mean, we consider it one flare, but you can see where the X-ray dropped back out and then surged back again. Okay? So with that being said, that, I guess technically that might be considered 2 flares. I don't know. I don't know the actual technical part of that, how they would record that in the data. But I talked about this yesterday. I actually used the fact that this happened and we've seen 2 surges visually. Okay? So what that means is, and we'll get into that in a minute, that and this flare that I showed you was obviously on the front side. So if there was a CME with this, it would be coming our direction, right? And so how do we determine that? Well, we got to look at the eruptions themselves. We have to look at the coronagraphs, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper than what I did yesterday, I guess, a little bit. I actually went kind of deep yesterday, a little bit. I mean, showing you little visuals that I pick up because I look at this stuff all the time. That most people, probably just the everyday average person that swings by the channel, wouldn't necessarily see. Unless you're really into space weather and really looking at the data and the coronagraphs, and any of the models, any of the extreme ultraviolet models, unless you're into that, you're probably going to miss it. So that's why I'm doing this. Is it going to affect the outcome? No. That is the biggest point I can say right now. Anything I say to you at this moment is not going to affect any sort of outcome. It just won't. Okay? It's already happened. Whatever's happened on the sun back on the 1st has already happened. It's not going to change anything. I'm not going to be able to change it, right? None of us can. So we're not, number one, we're not going to be scared about it. Number two, there's nothing to be scared for. Number three, I actually appreciate disagreement like this, as long as it stays respectful, okay? And when I say that, I'm saying that in the aspect that this is exactly what science is supposed to do. Not everybody's going to agree. So how does that help, right? Most people will say, well, nobody's agreeing on this. Why? Well, how is that good? It's very good because it causes people to dive deeper into what we're looking at. So it gives that person and everybody else around them that they're sharing their information with a deeper understanding of what's going on, right? Just because you're disagreeing with somebody doesn't mean you hate that person. It doesn't mean you dislike that person. It just simply means you don't hold the same opinion. And when you give reasons why you believe the way that you do, that's all valid. If you're just saying you believe one direction or the other for selfish reasons, this, that, and the third, then yeah, that's not a good thing to do. But I haven't really seen a whole lot of that. That's what I'm saying. This has been one of those situations where the disagreement is just pretty much, hey, this is what I think's happening. This model showed this. It updated. It showed this, that. Noah's model hasn't updated. There's a whole lot of different things we're going to talk about. Okay. So just let me say that first and foremost. Now, and that's why I want you guys to share it if you could. I know it's Sunday night, 9 o'clock. I get it, right? Everybody's probably getting ready to go to bed for tomorrow's work day. But I do want to, I really want to give this to you guys and give it to you in a way kind of like I did yesterday, right? So let me show you what everybody is talking about. This right here is that X flare, right? And it's this one. Okay, it's an X and an M flare. Now, you heard me yesterday, and I'm going to actually let you guys listen to my live stream, about 2 minutes of it, here in just a minute. But what you're going to see here, you're going to see two different surges. Here's the initial, bam, right? And then watch it start to try to die out, and then another surge right there. See that? I showed you guys this yesterday. Now, why am I saying that that's significant? Because it matches this. If that eruption was on the backside, we wouldn't be able to match these time frames up. And it matches the times match along with the second surge, because I thought that was an interesting piece right there even yesterday before people were disagreeing. If you remember, I was like, hey, we got to wait on these models to update this, that, and the other. And again, I'm going to take you guys to that here in just a few minutes. But the fact that shows two separate surges in X-ray production is telling me at least what's going on here is the X-ray is correct, right? The data there is correct. Now, the next question is, did that produce the CME? How do we know if it produced a CME? Well, what we look for are visual keys and coronagraphs. That's usually what we go to, okay? The visual keys we see here on the extreme ultraviolet, sometimes they're hard to see. And I've said this 1,000 times here on this channel, which is why I don't lean on that, okay? When the sun is the background, it can camouflage anything. So when you get an eruption on the front side, right, and if it's in your strike zone where it's a good chance it's going to come right at us, okay? When that's happening, it's hard to see the plasma coming off the sun. Now, when we get these very visual eruptions on the limbs, they show up real well because you have a contrasting colors. Black against whatever color the extreme ultraviolet you're showing everybody. Right? So that's why. Now I want to put that out there, number one. Okay. Number two, we are, whether you think we're in solar maximum or heading real close to it or whatever, we're in a very busy time during the sun cycle. With that being said, we have multiple eruptions all the time right now. So what does that mean? Well, that actually plays for the other argument. Because there are so many different eruptions going on. Are we actually seeing them all? Right? Are we catching all of them? Could there have been something that fired off the backside? It would have to be almost at the exact same time that this one did. Now, have we seen that before? Absolutely. Is that what happened this time? I'm going to show you what I think here in just a few minutes. It's just my opinion, right? And just like everybody has one of those things, they got an opinion too, right? I'll just say that. All right. So, if I could somebody give me a, dang butterfly, somebody give me a 5 for 5 in the chat if you could. Let's just do that. Let's see if we can't get some chat going here. Hey, Kay, if you're in here, Kay Parkinson, thank you for the gifted memberships yesterday. I just wanted to say that real quick. Hey, Angie. Yeah, please hit that like button. Hey, Kathy, good to see everybody. Kim Possible, what's happening? So yeah, guys, Stephanie, what's up? Miss Dragon, guys, go check out her channel. She's doing some good stuff over there too. Seventh Son, what's up, my brother? What is happening? All right, so yeah, guys, give me a roll call in there too while you're doing that. I like to see where you guys are all from. Regional. Hey, Trish, what's up? Trisha, I should say. Sherry, Night Raven, what's up? YouTube, baby, YouTube. Okay, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time going into that. Now, yeah, so let's do this. Okay, so let me get back to where I was at. Daggone it, I erased my chat and I lost my chat. There it is. Okay, cool. Florida. Quick question. I've been having this extreme high frequency sound in my ears. Hey guys, yeah, that's very normal, okay? When we're talking about this stuff. Solar storms can cause that. Basically what's happening is it's changing your resonance and it gives you tinnitus. That's typically what we see. Tinnitus is ringing in your ears. The resonance is the Schumann resonance that we all talk about. Hey, Aaron. What's going on, brother? Thank you for all the gifted memberships that you've been giving, bud. I really appreciate you. For sure. Hey, Ricky. Where are you from, Aaron? Oh, you just give me the salute? Cool. Fan B. But yeah, that's a very good question, guys. It can give you tinnitus and can make some really bad ringing in your ears when we get these big ones. It changes the vibrational frequency around you, and it's called the Schumann resonance, and it bounces around between our ionosphere and the surface of the earth. It's very regional and even really local. Hey, Enigma, good to see you. Washington State, Pittsburgh. Hey, Renee, good to see you. You made it live. Good to see you. I want to say this too. Is it true we or some people can sense or detect it from the sun? Some people are more sensitive to it, TK. That's so true. It just depends on what's going on, right? Yeah, tinnitus, I'm sorry. Tinnitus. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Thank you for the correction, Z. Collie. Robert House, weekend work at, okay, Colorado. Love it. Hey, Ricky, got a migraine? Yeah, migraines can be brutal, especially during this kind of stuff. Devon, UK. Awesome. Rich and Ed Kelly. What's going on? Canada. That's right. Emilio, what's happening? From Toledo, baby. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get into this, guys. Okay. So, yeah, I just want to make sure that people have all the information and they can make up their own mind. You guys make up your own mind. Don't just go off of what I say. Go look at the stuff for yourself. You guys are really, really smart people. Don't undersell yourself, please. If you have just a very basic of understanding, you're going to understand it enough to at least draw some sort of conclusion here for yourself, okay? Not for me, not for some other channel, not for this or not for that, but for you. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do for you. I nowcast here. For those that don't know, I nowcast. And that's a significant thing in our community, I think. We don't get that here. We don't. Nobody really nowcasts anything, because that requires you to step out of your ego and step out of whatever else and just report what's going on. You're leaving the decision into the people that are listening to you, which is what you should do. I'm just saying, okay? So I'm going to give you the information. You guys make up your own mind. Now, we can go learn on a lot of other channels, right? Even people that we so-called, quote-unquote, think are jerks or mean, there's still a lot of good information there. It doesn't matter to me. I look past all that. I learned how to do that a long time ago. I didn't used to. I used to wear all that on my, wear my feelings on my sleeve, right? Ain't that what they say? But I've learned to grow past that and understand that if I can see past that and get past that initial abrasiveness, most people are still good at heart. They really are. Okay? Even though they might come out and just be like, just so abrasive and nasty. But if you can look past that, there's still good information. Even if they are nasty people. Some of the smartest people that ever walked this planet are nasty. Mean, evil people. But they're still smart. Doesn't change their intelligence. And in a lot of cases, it makes them smarter. Because they got to think of all the bad stuff to do, right? And how to do it without doing this, doing that. So we got to consider that also. But in this conversation of this, I don't want anybody getting mad here in the chat. I don't want anybody like running over to somebody else's channel and saying, he said this, he said, it's not that at all. You're not going to hear me mention anybody's name, anybody else's channel. Just not going to. I don't do that. So, anyway. Now, so we got this, X-flare, right? X and an M. I'm calling it two flares because it really kind of was. From the same area, but we can definitely see two surges in X-ray right there, okay? Now, there was another X-flare from the same area, same sunspot, and then there was one about 12 hours before that. Well, I guess it was closer to 24. About the same size. So we had 3 X-flares from that sunspot. Now, I will happily report to you that this sunspot does seem to be decaying. Okay, it's starting to degrade a little bit. But because of that, I think a lot of what's going on, you're seeing a lot of small little cores pop up here, these red and the blues. If they start intermingling really, really well again, it's going to start firing again. Okay? And we got these other ones, tailing it. We got these out here now. All this stuff, and then we got this one right here we need to pay attention to. Because that thing has grown a lot. Okay, I just want to make sure. I had an hourglass there on my pointer there. I was like, I hope I ain't dropping frames there. But yeah, so is it on its way? I seen I don't want to pronounce that name wrong. Shoei? I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But yeah, hey, gunslinger, good to see you. But I do think, and this is my opinion, I think this is coming our direction, okay? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, that's just what I'm going to tell you. Now, I'm not, and even yesterday when I was talking about this, I wasn't 100%. But I will say, and what we're going to do now, actually, I'm going to take you guys to my YouTube from yesterday, okay? Let's go ahead and maximize that. I'm going to hit play, right? And I want you guys to just listen to what I say for 2 minutes here. I might pause it from time to time. It's only like a 2-minute segment here, but it explains my position yesterday, okay? So here we go. Run this through till this starts to erupt. Now we can't see what's behind it, right? So we talk about what's called a halo eruption, halo signature, and it's nothing more because this looks like a halo. That's it. No science behind calling it a halo. Nothing. Okay, I want to stop right there because that is important to understand. This is why we don't know 100% whether or not this is coming at us or going off the backside. Okay? So, yeah. Nothing like that. It just visually looks like a halo. And again, remember, this is a physical disc on the imager. So, what that means is we can't see behind it, so we don't know exactly what is there from this perspective. And when we see these halo eruptions, we need to understand that it could actually be going off the backside. So we need to have that understanding when we're looking at these, okay? Now, when we see this blast off like this, immediately we're going to go look because this is significant, right? But as you can see, this tracker is fanning this out this direction. Okay, guys, I want to stop right there for a second, too. I didn't say this yesterday because I didn't think this was going to be an issue. I just didn't. The fact that most of this is on this side, okay, the brunt of that is going to come into play here in just a second. Okay? So remember that. See where the most intense parts are just by that. But as this erupts again, I started to notice a few things. Okay, you got your initial eruption there, right? And then you see that. It's almost like, and let me say this because this matters. It's almost like when that erupted, it did send a CME off almost immediately, okay? And then, as the flare continued to flare, it had another blast. Okay, so what I'm saying there, guys, is this. That, first off, the initial blast, remember I showed you that little kink, right, in the flare? So you get a CME with the first one, and then the second time it surged, it probably fired another one. That's what I'm showing you there. Now, there's also another possibility here, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it here or not, but I want to make sure I'm clear. This could be a ghost image from the initial blast. These coronagraphs on these difference imaging, which is what this is called, do that. Okay? They'll pick up something right there, and then 2 or 3 frames later, it'll ghost it in the opposite color. Okay? I'm not sure if that's exactly what's happening there, but there were a couple frames right there, and we'll go over it again just a little bit where I got more control of the coronagraph here. But I just want to say that that could be a ghosting image, but it could be a second blast, right? But it's all going to be considered one. So anyway, blast. All right, so why does that matter? Well, what that ends up being is basically a cannibal CME. And I can kind of show you guys that here. See it? That would be about the time frame. Okay, and that's important too, what I just said right there. The time frames, they have to match up. Right? And they did. This matched up with the exact time these things firing off the sun. Okay, now, again, is it possible that something fired off of the back at the same time? Yeah, it's possible. I'm not going to say it's impossible because that would be a lie. But it's possible. I can't tell you for sure. And it's unfortunate that we don't have stereo A still out there on the side because this wouldn't even be a conversation. If we had that side view again, we would know 100% whether or not this thing came off the front or went off the back. I knew this was going to eventually come up because when they brought stereo A, and I'll show you, hold on a minute, sorry. I'll show you a little bit here in just a minute about what that means, okay? But I'm still going to use stereo A, and I'll show you here in a minute because there's data out there on some stereo A coronagraphs that nobody's looking at that helps me show you what I think is going on. So, I can't say for sure that that's what's happened, but it sure as heck looks like it. We're going to have to wait on, on this model, this one here, to update. Okay, I want to point that out too. Okay, that's NOAA's model, right? I show you guys this all the time. It's a CME tracker. This one here has not updated yet. So my guess is they're going to wait till tomorrow morning. It's the weekend, guys. Unless it's a massive like issue that everybody needs to be all on board, all hands on deck type of thing. These guys take days off too. Okay, so during the weekends we will see a lapse in them updating these models frequently. Okay, and it's not unusual for that to happen, but in a situation like this with a decent sized X flare and a CME, I really wish they would have updated this a little quicker. But again, this is NOAA also. This is the official forecast. I'm going to take you and show you the NASA model here in just a second. But anyway, date. Okay? Because we'll be able to see it there. This is the end of the spiral. This is stuff that's already happened. We're past this. And we did get a small geomagnetic storm. It just wasn't very strong. Okay? And again, right now, space weather conditions are pretty stable. So I'll just say that. It's pretty nominal, actually. But as we're looking at this, it is coming directly at us, guys. And it does look like there was maybe even a third little eruption. Okay, and that's important to know, too. Because even after, and I'm going to take you over to show you the chronograph again. I'll be able to roll it back and forth over there easier. But it's important to understand that there looked like there could have been like 3 different surges. And I actually, like I said, I'm talking about it right here yesterday. I think I even said, hey, we got to wait on more chronograph imaging to come in. Wait on the data to get there. We have time, which is why I'm still able to talk about it. Okay? It hasn't hit yet. If it's coming at us, it hasn't hit yet. And it ain't supposed to hit till late on the day on June 4th. Okay, so we still got more time to talk about this. Now, I'm not showing you guys this so I can say, hey, this is, I'm right. No, I'm showing you this because this is the same. I let you guys yesterday watch what I do, my own personal, procedure I run through to see if I think and form my opinion on whether or not this stuff's coming at us, going away from us, how bad it's going to be, this, that, and the other, right? So I went over that all yesterday, and I haven't seen anything that's changed my opinion. Okay, so let's just do this. Hold on. Okay, so what I want to do next is, I'm just going to stop the YouTube video part of it, but this is the same chronograph, right? I want to show you guys first where this is at, right? This is SOHO. That's the satellite we're looking from. I'm going to take you in a minute, and I'm going to show you Stereo A. Stereo A is now right here. It used to be way over here. Gave us a backside view of the sun, a partial backside, and a side view. So we would know 100% because we would see it coming this direction or going off the back. We wouldn't even be having this discussion if that satellite was still out there. It's not. And I knew eventually this was going to become a problem, especially with us going towards solar maximum or being in solar maximum with so many different eruptions happening all at the same time. Because it's very feasible to think that we had an eruption off the back and the front at the same time. I mean, you cannot rule that out, and I still can't. I can't rule it out 100%, but everything that I'm seeing still leads me to think that this could be coming at us still. And I'm not saying that it's 100%, but I'm also not saying, I'm leaning towards that. I'm not going to, sugarcoat that. That's what I think is going to happen. I think it's coming our direction. But again, I can be wrong, and if I'm wrong, guess what? I ain't afraid to admit it. I'll be right out here first person telling you, hey guys, I got this wrong, I'm sorry. And that's one of the reasons why I nowcast. We have time. It's allotted 93 million miles of time right there that we can talk about this and wait on data to come in. So people need to have patience and look at stuff. That's all I'm saying. And when I showed you guys this yesterday, we were I think we were right here in the time. So this flare had already happened. I waited till it was completely over before I came out and was talking to you guys. At least I think I did. Yeah. But let me just do this, okay? So again, this is Soho, and this is where the eruption. Actually, this is the whole day on the 1st. So I'll pause it when it gets there. Okay, so I'm going to run this back because I want to explain a couple things. First off, I want you guys to pay attention to that. Because when I take you over and show you some of the data from Stereo A, that's going to come into play with what I'm talking about. Okay? We have to remember this is a black occulter disc. Okay? It's a physical disc on the camera. It's on the imager. It doesn't move. You don't take it off. It's there all the time. Has to be there to be able to even get an image because it blocks the main light of the sun. Without it, it gets overexposed. The light floods it, and we get nothing but a big white blur. Okay? So with that being said, we cannot see behind this. You can't see behind it, guys. So that's why this is an issue. So whatever happened behind here, happened behind here. But with that being said, when you get a halo eruption, that's exactly why we can't give you 100% if it went off the back or if it's coming right at us, right? So let me, I'm going to back that up again. So with that being said, I want you guys to remember this eruption right here. This was just a small little eruption over here, right? Okay. So with that, I want you to just remember that happened because I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. And then you got that eruption there. Boom, right? Now, I'm going to back that up again and show you again what I was talking about. You got this initial blast. This is a difference image. So we do see ghosting, right? Sometimes. And so the other thing I want you to remember, see this white circle here? That's the actual surface of the sun. So there's a time difference that we need to consider from here to here because we won't see it until it gets out past the occulter disk. There's a certain amount of time there. Now, it's all going to be different depending on how fast it erupts, okay? But we have to consider that there is a time difference there. That's actually a decent amount of distance from this perspective, okay? You know, typically, I would say half hour to an hour maybe. But, again, so we get the initial right there blast. And then we go forward. And then we see another blast right here starting to show up. And, again, I'm still not sold if that's an actual new blast. It might be a ghost image because look at this. Pay attention to what that looks like. I'm not going to take a screenshot and like overlay it and all that. It's just simply not that important to me because if you can't see it right here, I'd just be wasting my time anyway. But see the shape of that? So let me back it up. It kind of matches that and it kind of don't. Okay? It doesn't match it exact, I'll say that. And typically we would see almost an exact match if it's a ghost. Okay? But it's close, I'll say that. I'll give it that. But what we didn't see really was too much of an eruption down here on the bottom part of it. And that second one we did. See that immediately showing up down here? So I don't know if that's a second blast or not, guys. I can't say 100%. But I want you to pay attention here. This was a full halo, but guess what? The majority of it was on this side. Look, see how it kind of gets cut off right there? So what does that mean? What's that? Why do I even bring that up, right? Now, I will say this. There's most definitely another blast here on the end. Whether it came from that same sunspot or whether it's the one on the north that I showed you guys that flared shortly after. See it? You can kind of see another eruption right there. Now, this is where I think that some of the confusion's coming in. This could be what NASA is thinking's coming at us, this second eruption. Because let me show you where the confusion has really came into play here. This is the NASA Enlil spiral. Okay? You see how much smaller that would look than from a blast from an X flare? That's nowhere near as powerful as an eruption you would think would come from an X flare, right? Now, I showed you guys this yesterday, if you remember, right? I kind of skipped over it because I wasn't quite sure whether or not they had updated it yet. And it was showing a blast off the backside, and I just wasn't seeing it. I don't even know if I showed that to you yesterday or not. But it was showing an eruption off the backside, and I thought it was from a different eruption. But I think it was trying to say, hey, we got, this big eruption right, well, here is going off the backside. That's what the NASA model was showing. So if you look at the time frame here, though, then you get one right around the first and second, about the same time. And this is the issue. We had 3 big eruptions, at least 2, roughly around the same time frame, right? So if I back that up, all right, you get the big one, and then if we keep going forward, we're going to see that. Now, what am I talking about? A northern sunspot eruption. Let me show you that real quick, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that, but it came from this sunspot right here. It was after this one, okay? So watch what happens with this. Okay, so right there, man, hate it when I do that. Gosh. Actually, I'll just show it to you here. So what you're getting here, guys, this is the end of that X flare, and you're going to get another eruption right here where my cursor's at. Well, if I don't bump it. Right there. See that? That was another eruption, and yes, that would be coming at us, and it almost looks like it could have matched that, okay? That's all I'm saying. So I do think that that third eruption there on the end was from that northern sunspot, and that could be what NASA's showing us here. Okay? Now, what's going to help us, and I'm going to just click off of that because I don't really care to show that anymore. What's going to help us is when NOAA updates their spiral. Okay? So that way we can compare what NOAA thinks is going to happen to what NASA is saying is going to happen. Right? Now, you guys know I show you guys Dr. Tony Phillips' webpage almost every show, right? He thinks that it's going off the backside. And that's fine. I mean, like I said, he does a great job over there, guys. He really, truly does. It's an awesome webpage. It really, truly is. I show you guys this all often, right? So it says, well, maybe he's changed that back again. Let me see. Okay, see? This is why I do this. I'm going to go ahead and read this, but please go over here and read this too, okay? It says, NOAA forecasters say that a G1 class geomagnetic storm, and I don't know where he's getting that forecast at. Maybe has it updated? Let's check. I mean, we can actually look, we don't have to look at the spiral model either. Their forecast can actually be, what is taking that thing so long to update? Okay. Their forecast is here. Daggone it. Let's just do this. Hold on. Hate that when it does that stupid crap. It ticks me off, man. Where'd I put that thing? Okay. It still did that. I just didn't want this to be a small window. Okay. Well, yeah. They've changed their forecast right here. You see? They've added a G1 storm here on the end of the day on the 4th. Now, I will say that would be from that double blast right there. That's kind of what Dr. Tony Phillips is saying right there, I think. But we also had one fire off the backside at the same time. That's what he's saying right here. He's saying that that's what NASA and NOAA's kind of thinking. It says a double solar flare, and I think it's, yep, see? X1M7, that's exactly what I was telling you guys here. With this little double thing, they're considering that two separate flares. So that makes a difference, okay? So whether or not we get the big one that came at us, maybe there probably was one that fired off the back then. If that's what's being reported now, again, guys, I don't know. I can't say for certain. I can't see the back of the sun. Nobody can. But what we can look at is they have that the seismology models that they're using now on the sun, that they can map the back of the sun out with using seismic activity on the sun, the vibration of the sun. They're able to see that. They've come up with some really good new technology on that, and it shows what the back of the sun, quote unquote, looks like. But regardless, what's going to happen is if one did fire off the back, it's going to hit Venus. If the one that fired off this direction says that we could be getting a glancing blow from it. So, but I do want to show you the rest of this, okay? So this is something that people don't go to anymore. I don't know why. For the life of me, I can't understand it. This is over here at Stereo Science Center, SSC. Okay? This is stereo A. And we can look at different coronagraph imaging. Now, if you want some really high def imaging, you're not going to go to stereo A. Okay? It just doesn't give us the greatest of resolution. Right? Now, let me also do this real quick, because I want you to understand where we're looking from with this. Again, it's hanging out right here now, next to Earth. So it's kind of to what we would call our west, because it's reverse when you're talking about space and looking at the sun. You got to pretend you're standing on the sun looking up. Okay? So as I look at this, and if stereo A is here, we don't have a straight shot like we do from Soho. We got a little bit of a skewed view. So we're kind of looking at it from an angle. So if we see most of it going off the left, it would beg the reason that most of that, if we see something like that, the majority of the time it's going to be coming at us. Now, if we've seen a lot of it coming off the right side of the sun, then it would suggest the other, right? Because it's got more of a right side view than what Soho does. And not to mention that Soho is closer to the sun also. So that matters also. So with that being said, check this out. Now I'm going to just reverse this. And this is something else that's making this difficult, okay? We don't have all the data. I don't know what happened to all the data, but it's not here either. So I don't have an answer for that. But we do get to see the beginning of it. So let me show you. That. Remember I said pay attention to that little bit of a signature on the first here? Right there? I'll show it to you again. I'll let it run through there again. Hold on. Right there. Okay? Remember that happened before the big eruption, right? That right there is that. Okay, so you kind of got an idea now, right? Where stereo A is hanging out because of that perspective. You see how this one looks more straight to the right, and this one here looks more kind of at an angle? That's why. Because the satellite's in a different position. So as I keep moving forward, look what happened there. You can still see them. This is a different eruption. This is the big one. Okay, you're not seeing much of it over here, and you would expect to see that if it did go off the back over here. That's what you would think. You would see more of it over here too. But it's not always the case either. I get it. So let me just let's reverse that. Okay, so let me show you what I mean about missing time, okay? Because this one is missing a significant amount of time. And it is making us hard. It's making it hard for us to kind of diagnose this. So you got 1823 right there, 1838, 1923, and then boom. We miss what? 5, 6, close to 7 hours there. But I want to point something out. Even with that missing, let me show you something. Okay, here's that eruption. But if I go forward, even though we're missing 7 hours, look out here. You're not really seeing much of anything over here. If you look real close, you can see the edge of that. Watch. See how it's moving like that? Now, these are other eruptions, guys, that happen later on in the day. But you can actually kind of see, and I'll just run this back like this. Okay? So, and I know it's hard to see. I promise you I know. For those that don't look at this all the time, this does become very hard to tell what's going on. Okay? So, I'll just leave it at that. But, hey, Leisure. Hey, Drops Family Garden. Good to see everybody. Hey, any of the members that are here? Hey, guys. I'm probably going to be doing a members-only stream tomorrow. Okay? So, look for that to be posted, all right? Hey, Trish. Lady L, what's up? Kathy Pailla's in here. That's right, baby. Phoenix Ren, what's happening? Ricky Spence. Drops Family Gardens in the house again. Butterfly in the sky. Scratch. Yeah, kind of looks like clouds on the imaging. Yeah. Osmond Holistics, good to see you. Can't find the model on this one right here, Stereo A. Yeah, if you just go to SSC, you should be able to find all this stuff. We used to use it a lot. I'll just say that. It went down for over a year, and everybody just kind of forgot about it. So, yeah. So, you guys have my opinion what happened there. Okay? I do think that we got at least something coming at us, and it does look as though everybody's saying we got something coming at us now, too. And again, nobody is at fault, to be honest with you. We have to rely on what we can see and the data that we can look at. And we just try to do our best to analyze it for you guys and share it. You guys seen exactly how I walked through everything there for you. I even walked through it a little bit more yesterday. In some different areas, I went a little bit more deep. But today I wanted to explain why there was a lot of disagreement. And I'm not even going to call it arguments, because I don't think anybody's really like mad arguing. I haven't seen any of that. But disagreeing in science is a good thing. It causes us to look at stuff deeper. It forces us to open our mind a little bit. Because guess what? No matter who you are or what subject you're talking about, you are not always going to be correct. When you're not correct, and after something happens and you figure out that you were wrong, you never ever forget that. You just absolutely cemented that into your learning process in your brain. That is a positive thing. Nobody's out here saying that the grid's going to go down, even if it all was coming at us. Nobody's saying any of that. But we do need to understand that we need to take in consideration everything. And everyone has the right and ability to have an opinion and look at this stuff just like I just did. So, whether it pans out that this hits us like we think it's going to, like I think it's going to, or like over here it's going to think it's going to, and leaving everything else I just said aside, even if what I said, hey, we got this coming from this X flare, if the whole community agreed 100% on that, it still ain't going to guarantee a huge hard hit. It's not going to guarantee a small one either. Which, again, that's why I nowcast. And I leave all of the forecasting stuff up to people that are way above my pay grade. Way highly educated, way more highly educated than I ever will be. And hopefully I get enough right just to give people a basic understanding. And that's really my point here. And to let you guys know at least how to understand what the model is showing you. So you can then take that knowledge and apply it to yourself. And look at it for yourself. Guys, what if I walk outside tomorrow and get hit by a bus? Well, I mean, you guys are still going to be able to come here and look at some of these models. I showed you how to do it. That's a positive. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to say. So don't think just because people are arguing that it's a bad thing. I'm going to say arguing. They're disagreeing. Okay? I haven't seen anybody get like mean and nasty this time. That does happen a lot though, I will say. And it's not up for me to judge who's right, who's wrong, who's nasty, who's not. But I do get to choose who I watch and who I, look at and send people to and all that. And even though I tell you guys, watch everybody. I really do. And I mean that. I 100% mean that. Go watch everybody. If when you go watch somebody and it's a very negative like presentation, if you don't like that, don't go back. I mean, that's all you can do, right? But even though if you can get past that negativity that's being the way they're putting their information out, the information isn't necessarily wrong. That's my point. So if you can look past that, you can gain a lot of stuff just by cruising YouTube and the internet in general. So hopefully I helped everybody out there. I might have caused more questions than I didn't. And again, guys, I got nothing but respect for everybody, including Dr. Tony Phillips here. I show you guys his website all the time, almost every show. I mean, it's just I want you guys to go give him some traffic. You guys know I don't even like reading the articles here on my show, on my stream, because he's doing the work. He should get the traffic. So that's kind of what I'm saying, guys. So please go give him some love. Just go cruise over here, and that's how he's paying his bills. So that's just what I'll say. And again, guys, we're going to be doing a members only stream tomorrow. We haven't had much of anything happening today as far as eruptions. So tomorrow I'll give you guys a members only stream for sure. Also, I'm going to give you guys an update because there's no doubt going to be some updates on this. Okay. So with that being said, I will be here, okay? And again, guys, there's other things we can go look at, but I'm not going to sit here and nitpick it, especially after seeing what Dr. Tony Phillips wrote right there, because it's now looking like everybody's thinking there was one on both sides. So that's very highly possible. So, again, I will be here to nowcast for you, so... Thank you to all my members, anybody that wants to super chat, super thanks, all that stuff that you guys do to kind of help me keep this thing going. I really do appreciate it. My family says hey and loves you and says thank you. Especially my wife says tell them thanks. She says that to me every day. So thank you for that. But yeah, hopefully anybody that's a member, I'll be sending out the cards that you guys won tomorrow. I'm giving you guys tonight. So remember that. Anybody that won, got to email me your address so I can send you the cards. If not, I'm not going to be able to give them to you. So yeah, guys. But also, I don't want to downplay the fact that we have this sunspot is going to be in front of us for 3 or 4 more days. So we still got stuff that we need to watch. And we're going to be here to watch it, and I'm going to be here to nowcast it for you. So, all right, guys. God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, sip on that Kool-Aid. And guess what? You can drink this Kool-Aid. Hey, Ripper. Good to see you, my brother. Oh, man. I love that. Oh, man. Now you got to make me go in there and get something to eat. All right, guys. Love all you guys. See you tomorrow. God bless. Yahusha saves. And, yeah. You can drink this Kool-Aid.